Let's jump right into this explainer and tackle a silent condition that most of us actually live inside of. You know that feeling when payday hits? Total relief, right? But almost instantly, boom, the money is just gone. You aren't necessarily broke, but every single dollar is already spoken for.
Think about a spare $500. You haven't blown it on a fancy vacation or a new car, but mentally, every single dollar is already claimed. It's spoken for by rent, your car's next oil change, and oh yeah, that expensive wedding you're expected to attend next month. It's an invisible trap. And look, you've heard the advice to invest. Maybe you even opened an app, felt a massive wave of anxiety reading words like index funds and expense ratios, and just closed it because the language felt like a pop quiz you didn't study for.
But then you see a number that kind of changes everything. What if I told you that exact same $500 a month, invested consistently over 30 years, could grow to over $500,000, specifically about $567,000? Seeing that usually hits people with a very specific kind of grief. It's the sudden, heavy realization that time is the one resource you can literally never earn back. But hey, that realization marks the exact beginning of our journey out of this mathematical no man's land.
Section 1. 2 Paths to Wealth.
The hardest part of building wealth, honestly, isn't the math. It's that for the first few years, the math looks like it's failing you. Let's look at two guys, Jake and Marcus. Both are 30 years old, both make $75,000 a year, and both want $500,000 in life insurance coverage. Jake takes the safe route. He buys a whole life insurance policy for $450 a month, thinking it's a great forced savings plan. Marcus takes a totally different path. He buys a cheap 30-year term policy for only $35 a month and automatically funnels the remaining $415 into a low-cost index fund. Same money out the door, wildly different destinations.
Section 2. The Invisible Phase.
For the first 5 years, both guys enter what we call the invisible phase. This is where the human brain simply struggles to find meaning in small, unseen progress. After one whole year of diligence, Marcus has about $6,400. He feels absolutely nothing watching that index fund bounce around with the market. No agent is calling him, no fancy binder to show his friends. Meanwhile, Jake feels like a real grown-up because his agent calls him up to congratulate him on his wealth. But this is the exact point where most people stop investing, just because they lack that immediate feedback loop. What they don't realize is they are building a crucial base, the structural requirement for everything that follows. The harsh reality here is that Jake is actually severely underwater for years. By year 5, he's paid about $27,000 in premiums, but he only has a few $1,000s in actual cash value because of massive upfront commissions and fees. And here is the single most misunderstood fact about whole life insurance. The cash value and the death benefit are not additive. If Jake passes away, his family gets the $500,000, but the insurance company, they keep all the cash value he spent decades building.
Section 3. Hitting the crossover point.
Now let's jump ahead to year 10. This is the exact moment the math shifts from feeling like an absolute slog to feeling like magic. We call it the crossover point. It is that beautiful milestone where your investment returns in a single year actually exceed the money you are putting in. Psychologically, this is huge. Your account stops feeling like a basic savings jar and begins to function as a fully independent system, acting almost like a second income you haven't met yet.
By year 10, the gap between Jake and Marcus isn't just a theoretical math problem anymore. Jake has dumped $54,000 into premiums, and his cash value is only just now approaching what he put in. But Marcus, by staying disciplined and leaving his index fund alone, he's crossed a massive threshold. He is sitting at roughly $72,000. Marcus is no longer the primary engine of growth. The compounding money is doing way more work than his $500 monthly deposits.
Fast forward to year 30, both men are 60. Kids are grown, mortgage is paid off. Jake has paid over $160,000 in premiums. His cash value is roughly $255,000. And remember, if he dies, his family gets the death benefit but loses that cash value entirely. What about Marcus? His 30-year term policy just expires. His family gets zero from the insurance company. But guess what? They don't need it, because Marcus now holds a fully liquid, nearly $500,000 portfolio. The portfolio essentially became the insurance.
Section 4. The Forced Discipline Illusion.
So why do people still choose Jake's path?
Well, a lot of folks fear they won't have the discipline to actually finish the investing part of the strategy. They fall completely for the illusion of tax-free borrowing. Let's say a major emergency hits and both guys need $40,000. Jake creates a debt obligation, literally borrowing his own money and paying the insurance company 5 to 8% interest for the privilege. If he mismanages it, his whole policy could blow up. Marcus? He just sells some index funds, pays his roughly 15% capital gains tax, and walks away with his own money, no strings attached whatsoever.
Now, to be perfectly impartial here, the source material makes it crystal clear. Whole life insurance is absolutely not a scam. It has entirely valid uses for very specific, frankly rare situations. We're talking high net worth estate planning, special needs dependents who require lifelong care, complex business succession plans, or an absolute completely honest lack of savings discipline. But for the average family just trying to build wealth, it is mathematically suboptimal.
Section 5. The 5-Year Wealth Roadmap.
To truly escape this no man's land, you have to transition your money from consumed lifestyle to invested capital. And there is a realistic 5-year roadmap for this. Year 1, stop the bleeding. Plug your financial leaks and build a simple 3-month emergency fund. The goal right now isn't to get rich. It's just contracting your lifestyle until living below your means is your default setting. Year 2, pull the income lever, negotiate that raise, and start investing 15 to 20% of your gross income. Year 3, you build the systems. You automate absolutely everything so you never have to think about it.
Moving into year 4, you make those assets work harder. This is where you might look into acquiring leveraged assets like a rental property or setting up passive income. And finally, year 5, the invisible suddenly becomes visible. By consistently maintaining your base, you're targeting a total net worth between $150,000 and $220,000. This tangible wealth required zero luck. No crypto moonshots, no viral businesses, just ordinary income, a bit of time, and ruthless discipline.
But you absolutely must avoid these massive plan killers. The biggest trap is lifestyle inflation, right around year 2. Your income goes up, and suddenly you feel this urge to redirect your automated transfers because life got a bit more expensive. Or you panic sell when the market drops. Having no emergency fund when a crisis hits is another classic trap. Oh, and comparing your messy year 2 to someone else's highlight reel year 6? Just don't do it. Remember, buying a forced savings product is often just a really expensive way to solve a discipline problem that you could have easily fixed with a simple, untouched automatic bank transfer.
Here's the bottom line. The math does not care how you feel about it. The compounding process doesn't require your confidence. It literally only requires your consistency. You have to start before you feel fully ready. So, look at that $500 in your account right now that isn't completely spoken for yet. The only question left is whether you will start treating it differently today or whether you will let the invisible cost of an unmade decision quietly rob you of your future wealth. What exactly is your next move?